what is it that you are enduring, that you've asked me some of the question about suffering and about coping with loss, and unless you are on an assignment for this you must have a topic in mind, and I would like to know what it is.
75 years ago, I love here.
How do you like Chicago?
Me? Yeah, I like this place. I've been living since 10 years. It's a nice city. People are very helpful. Not rough like New York or LA. You know, this Middle East people, they're always helpful.
I like it. The changing of the season, I love it here. The weather and all. You will too. Have a good day, baby.
You know, I really don't know nothing else to like. I've lived here all my life, and I just love Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You know, they tell me you can go anywhere else, and you always want to come back home. I've never been nowhere, but they say it don't matter where you go, you always want to come back home to Chicago. What you think?
Chicago, my dear man, is the best city in the whole world. There is nothing like Chicago. Every time I leave it for a couple of days, I truly miss it, and I look forward to coming back to it. And I'm not patronizing you in saying that, but that's the feeling of almost everyone in the city.
After 9/11, the society, American society, American policy, American government has changed, you know. So I don't feel safe here. Last month somebody hit me here because I'm a Muslim. And you know, it is very difficult now to live in this country. That's why we have decided to go back. That's all.
Definitely. I'm only doing this for a short period of time. Obviously, I've done many other things. I've been in the business world. But I don't think there's a human being or there's a taxi driver, in my never to be humble opinion, who would tell you that he immigrated to the United States so he could be a cabbie.
Your boss. Well, who are your boss? I tell people, I says, well, I never had one. I say, I could not relate to the people in the corporate world back in the 60s. So I got out the corporate world and started driving a cab.
That would be the biggest lie in the century. We all came with big hopes and high dreams. But as I stated earlier to you, if it is the only thing available, and if you don't have formal education and you're trying to assimilate into a new society, then it's obviously become a choice. But no one comes here so he or she could be a cabbie. They would be undesirable, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, sir, what's your name?
My name is Ghazi.
De l'amour qui n'est pas échu par désespoir de la mort, qui est déjà prévu par désespoir du sexe, qui nous fut à charge par désespoir de l'homme, qui n'est que misère par désespoir du temps, qui n'est que poussière par désespoir de l'art, qui n'est pas visité par désespoir de l'âme, que l'on n'a pas trouvé par désespoir de soi, qui ne sut que honte par désespoir de suicide, qui n'est calibré par désespoir du monde, illusion par désespoir ou s'enfuir. Dans l'étude par oubli, dans le stupeur par malchance, mais dans la mer pour s'élaver.
Ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is most important to you in this world?
My family.
The most important thing to me is my family, my son. He is my life, and that's where my life evolves around him and his well-being. To try to provide him with the best education. And I gave myself a promise, if I can help it, that I would never permit him to do the thing I had to do as a first-generation immigrant.
Think about myself or about my interest. My priority is to make others' life better if I can make, whether they are my customers or they are my family members. Selfishness is the least interested thing in my life.
Ayudó a mi emigración y en mi poesía, pero que después se volvió amenazante y puso en peligro mi vida. Ahora sin ella escribo estos versos y no sé si he ganado o perdido. No sé si tu lector notarás este cambio y lamentarás que mi verso se haya vuelto reposado y tranquilo. Ojalá que natura de mi sea haya apiado y no eches de menos el fervor de otros días.
This world is not hard. Actually, in this country, if you compare it with India, life is stressful here and hard to survive because it's very expensive and expectations are very high.
It sucks, that's what it's like. It's not good. It's basically like being a homeless guy, but you have to go to work.
That is, I don't know, I've never been white. I'm satisfied with who I am. That isn't a hard question. The mind. A lot of people enslave the mind. You know what I just like hearing people say? My boss.
My family was busted up. I was in a foster home at late teens, and that's when I was in high school, and I had these ideas that I was going to be a whiz kid in business somehow and start some kind of business on a shoestring and make $1 million and get my family back together and get us out of the foster home and get my mother a house.
Seriously, that's how I became selling streetwise. I used to make $41,000 a year. So, I lost my sister, I lost my mother, I lost my father, all at one time. So, it sort of really beat me up, and I wound out on the street. And that's how I wound up selling streetwise. Through streetwise, I've come a long way though.
한밤중에 바람이 분다. 바람 속에서 아기가 웃는다. 아기는 방속을 들여다본다. 들창을 열었다. 다시 닫는다. 먼 들기를 아기가 간다. 맨발 벗은 아기가 울면서 간다. 불러도 대답이 없다. 그림자마저 아른거린다. 산이 저문다. 노을이 잠긴다. 저녁 밥상에 아기가 없다. 아기 앉던 방석에 한 쌍의 은수저. 은수저 끝에
when you come in this world, it's a road of suffering, but you make it as sweet as you can. That's why we drink, you see. We've been drinking for the last 45 years.
It's a Chinese saying. It's like a man takes a drink, and then the drink takes a drink, and then the drink takes the man.
Somebody that when he's in the hospital and he starts seeing pink elephants and giants out the window, that's an alcoholic.
And I refuse to let it take me. You know, I will come and I can go and get drunk, but I don't wish to do that. I don't need to do that. If I decide to do that, I won't get so drunk that I don't know what I'm doing. When I reach the point where I want to go home.
You know what I mean? I can go home if I want to, but why put them through, you know what I mean? So I'd rather just, but like they tell me, my family, they tell me, you like what you do, so just keep doing it. They think I love this.
And I saw him. And they had to bring in a psychologist to give me a little pink pill to make them all go away. I've been there, I've done it. What else can I say? Instead of stop drinking, though, like I should have, out of the hospital, come back to the bar. Start drinking again.
All the time. I keep it with me every day, because if I lose sight of what I had and what I have now, it ceases to have any meaning.
What do you have now?
Well, I got my family back, I got self-esteem, I've got great pride in myself. Trying to rebuild everything that I lost, so.
As a matter of, well, I lost a brother-in-law 3 days ago.
Raw shrimp is sushi.
And he was really bad. He was bad drinker.
They both smell the same.
He was a bad drinker.
Have you ever eat tuna, like grilled?
And when he found out that he was dying, well, it made him drink more. It made him drink more.
I like bass, trout. It's the only pleasure I have right now. The only thing that satisfies me, that keeps me around my friends, you know. I hate to say, but sooner or later it's going to catch up with me. But for right now, it's what I enjoy. You gotta have something in your life to enjoy.
If the only words I can say is you have to want to do it. If your time is not finished doing the dope, you're not going to have any success. You have to want to do it in your heart. And your heart and your head have to be together in order to do it. And if you fall one time, don't worry about it. Get up, brush yourself off, and try it again.
To me, emotional scars are never healed. Sometimes physical scars can be healed, You can take medication for it. Emotional scars remain for life. But life evolves, life moves on, and the old cliche that time heals all wounds, there is a gem of truth to that.
could hear you now, what would you say?
I love you. What I'd say.
The one, my parents, I would say, I did it, Mom and Dad. I did it. I'm sorry you didn't get the chance to see me do it, but I did it, and I hope you're proud of me. And Mouse, I love you. I wish you were down here, but you're not, so that's it.
I love you. I miss you. What else can I say? And I should also say I apologize for a lot of things I did when I was a kid. Because I'm the oldest in the family. He put us through Catholic schools and everything else. And I went astray. And one time he said to my younger brothers and sister, don't grow up to be like your older brother. And they didn't.
You always get the ones that tell you, just before, don't let anything happen to me. And unfortunately, they don't make it. I've sat and cried with family members, and especially the ones we actually, working in the ER, we get regulars, and sometimes they don't make it, and you've gotten to know the families very well and the patient very well, and you just sat and cried with them and held on to them, and they held on to you, and just like they were family.
The feeling the day that she died, the hospital called me. It was like a howl came from the pits of my soul and my tears. And it's a very, very, very hard.
Many years in the future, what do you want people to remember you as?
I wouldn't give a damn what they remember me as. They can remember me as that. Excuse me, young lady. I really don't care. Long as I know what I am and what I did for humanity, that's all that counts.
He's a good guy, I guess. I definitely want to remember me as a good guy.
Will you miss this world?
Probably, yeah. I don't think it's another world. I think it's just a big accident that happened,
They'll remember me. In Greek mythology, if your name isn't mentioned after your death, then you're lost. As long as your name is remembered, you're in other people's thoughts.
You know what? I want people to remember me as this. That I love the Lord with all my heart and soul, and I treated people like I want to be treated. I love people. I love people no matter what color you are, no matter how you look. I love people. And that's why I want people to remember me, that I love people.